Everybody, we're going to be doing lesson 19.5, more perimeter, in Math in Focus. We're going to be on page 375. Make sure you get a pencil and paper, like for every math lesson, to follow along. The other thing is, if you have a ruler or even a measuring tape, maybe something from your mom's sewing kit, you're going to need a ruler for this lesson. That's really hard, so I'll be really understanding if you don't, but do try to go find one. Pause and go ask your parents for those things. Okay, well, in my house, all I can find, I'll show you, is I have this like bookmark ruler with inches, and I have a tape measure. Literally all I have in my house, so you'll have to bear with me for this lesson. I'll have to make sure that my measurements are the same as the book because I'm using kind of a strange measuring tool, but we do what we can, right? All right, let's switch screens. All right, thought I had this set up and I do not, excuse me. All right, so on perimeter, remember the perimeter is the distance around an object. If you do a string around an object, like around this square, you're measuring the distance around, or if you had to walk around a square, how far would you walk? It means if you stretched it out, it could be one straight line. It's not the measurement of the middle. The measurement of the middle is the area, remember? But the measure of the distance around is the perimeter. For here, this is just representing 6 centimeters. It is not actually 6 centimeters, right? Sometimes the book does that. It just represents distances. And when it does that, you go with the distances they say. But there are other times in the book, in this chapter in particular, where it's asking you to actually measure the perimeter. And that is down here. Goodness. When you measure the perimeter, you measure the sides. So let's do it together. It says to use centimeters. So here, make sure you start at 0. Some rulers have a little distance before the 1, so make sure you start at 0. Here, it looks like it's exactly 9. It's upside down. The way I was holding it, wasn't it? Let me, so you can see it. 9 centimeters. So 9, 3, 9, and 3. So 9 plus 3 is 12, plus 9 plus 3, which is also 12, is going to equal 24. So the perimeter of this rectangle is 24 centimeters, and it's not just representing 24 centimeters, it is actually 24 centimeters because we measured it with a ruler. All right, now we need to find the perimeter of this figure. Now this is not a rectangle. Let's count the number of sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the name of a 5-sided shape? Pentagon. Great job. All right, we have to measure them. Now, is this one I have to measure with the measuring tape, or is it one that it gives me the distances? Right, it represents the distances, so we're going to use the ones given there. 3, oh, yeah, it represents, because if you look, this is not 3 inches. That's closer to 3 centimeters. 3 inches would be much, much bigger. So it's just representing that distance. 3 plus 3 is, yes, 6 plus 2 is 8, plus another 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. The perimeter of this figure is 13 inches. Moving forward. The width of a rug is 14 feet. So that's a rug. Is this really 14 feet? No, that would be big. That's like the size of a small room. That is 14 feet. It is representing the width is 14 feet. Okay? It says its length is twice its width. Remember that word twice? How do I find twice something? So if we know its width is 14, right? And its width is twice that, right? You could almost do a bar model for that. So width is 14, and length is 2 widths. We make it the same, right? 14 and 14. So the whole thing is going to equal, it wasn't very pretty curvy, 28, right? So its length on the bottom is 28. Now, what is the unit? Feet. Always use your units. Your units are very important. Now it says the length times the width. So the length is 14 times 2 gives me 28 feet. It's not times the width, it's just times 2 because it's twice as long. Then the perimeter is 14 plus 14 plus 28 plus 28 because it goes 14 plus 28 plus 14 plus 28, right? Let's add those together. What if that's not math you're used to doing all the time? What are some ways you could do it? Well, one way you could do it is to just add 14 plus 28. And get 42. And then you know that this is half of it, and then add 42 again, right? Or if you're not confident in that, you could add up all four numbers just the same. Or you could do, I'll show you the answer just so you get the point. So 14 plus 28 is 42. So then we do the other sides, 14 and 28 again, is another 42. So we get 84. That will be the perimeter. This is supposed to be feet. If you don't want to do the math that way, you could just add them all up. Right? You might see that, 14 and 28, that's 28. That'd be the same thing as doing 28 times 3. There's lots of different tools you have in your tool belt to solve this same problem. As long as you add them all up somehow, that's just fine. I'm going to show you 28 times 3 to get a little bit of multiplication in here. 4, multiply the ones, right? Carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6, 7, 8. 84 feet. See? Same answer, either way. Now, I know I showed you extra ways to solve it. You could just add all 4, that's just fine, but it rarely gives me such a fun multiplication problem. Let's do this problem solving down here. 4 square tiles with 12 centimeter sides. That means each side is 12 centimeters, not 1 centimeter, 12 centimeters, were used to cover the surface of a large square tile. What is the perimeter of the large scale square tile? Well, let's model that. Got our picture? 12 plus 12. What is 12 plus 12? Right, 24. That means each side is 24, 24, 24, 24. You could go 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. That's fine. And then you would end up with 12 times 8, which is a math fact you should know. And that's a way to solve it. What is 12 times 8? Do you guys remember it? Okay, well, it's going to be the same thing as 24 times 4. What's 24 times 4? Well, I'm really wanting you to do math. I'm waiting. All right, let's try it. 24 times 4 is one way to solve it. Go out a little. You can see my board. 24 times 4, 16. 4 times 2, that's 96. Is that the same thing as 12 times 8? Yes, it is. 12 times 8, let's double check it. 16, 96. They're equal, right? Either way, the perimeter is 96. 96 what? It says centimeters. Unit, 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 all day long. Unit, 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 unit. How do you like my unit song? Remember that from class? So now it says, so the perimeter is what? It was 96 centimeters. So here it would have been like, it would have been 12 times 8 equals 96, right? Or you could have done 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 24, right? Okay. Let's move on to this page. It's going to take me just a sec to set up. All right, and this one, it says, a rectangular field is 35 meters long. Its length is 3 times as long as its width. Ian ran around the field once. How far did he run? Well, we have some math to do. So the length of the field, he says, is 35. So I'm going to just draw this so I can write on it. 35 meters, right? Oh, sorry, the width. I got to read better, don't I? 35. This side's 35. Good job. And its length is 3 times as long. If we did a bar model, if the width is 35 and the length is 3 times as long, that would be like 35. I want to know how long is the length, right? I got to move my board up, sorry. I got to know how long is the length. So 35 plus 35 plus 35, or 35 times 3. Let's try it. 35 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. That means the length is 105 meters. That means the length of this side is also 105 meters. We know that rectangles have equal opposite sides. So that's how we're able to know both of them. And then it asks us, what is the perimeter? So for the length of the field, it's wanting you to do 3 times 35 equals 105. And for the perimeter, it's wanting you to add up all the sides, which is 105 plus 35, 105 plus 35. Let's see if we can do some mental math. I know you can do it. I know you can. Let's think first, 35 and 35. That's like 60 plus 60 plus 10. That's 70, right? All right, so we have that 70, remembering that in our head. Plus 100 plus 100, 270, right? Plus 5, 280. Let's check our mental math. 105 plus 35, 140, and then another 140 for that's 140, and that's 140, would give us 280. Good mental math. We got it right. It's kind of a fun activity down here, but we don't have enough space for it. All right, we're going to be doing the Lex practice. I want you to get that ruler I told you to get at the beginning of this lesson and measure. There we go. And measure for 1 and 2. And then find the perimeter for 3 and 4. And then come back. If you don't have a ruler and are unable to do it, maybe try estimating. It does want you to do it in centimeters. I will show it to you in just a second if you don't have it. Either way, you can solve this bottom one for me. You should have your math book, so pause it and solve it. Okay, come back. Here we go. Centimeter ruler. Remember, I'm having to use my little measuring tape because that is all I have. I want to make sure, because I'm using such a non-standard tool, I'm showing you. Let's try it. Okay, here it looks like 8, right? I'm going to write that down because I don't want to write it in my book. 8 centimeters. And then over here, 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters, and then on the bottom, 4. And then on this other side, because this is a strange shape, looks like 5 again. All right, let's add those up. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 4 is 22. So the perimeter of number 1 is 22 centimeters. Is that what you got? I hope so. That is what the book says, so I think I did it right. Just make sure you are using your ruler or your measuring tape, maybe something in a sewing kit. This one's fun because there's this little extra shape down here. All right, on the top, looks like 6 centimeters. I'm going to draw it out for you so you can see it as I go, mostly because I don't want to write in my book. 6. And you know that I meant centimeters, I'm just writing it fast. 5, 2, 2, 2. I was doing a few at once to save a little time. This could take a long time if I really spent a long time. 5, 2, 2, 2. And 2. I had one more measured. And then I'm guessing this is going to be 5 because they look to be equal opposite sides. Yes, right here. 5. It's so hard to see, my little one. Centimeters. So 5. So the answer here would be 10, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So 24 centimeters for number 2. I hope that's what you got. Down here on the bottom, if you added these up, the perimeter would be 28, because 7 times 4 is 28, 7, 14, 21, 28. Over here 12, because 12 times 4 is 48, or 12, 24, 36, 48 centimeters. The last few on the Let's Practice. This one's kind of fun. It says each side of a square is 8 meters. Find the perimeter of the square. They didn't draw it for you. Is it okay that they didn't draw it for you? Can you still find it? Yes. One option is to draw it yourself. One is just to use your head. So draw it yourself. 8, 8. It's a square, so we know all the sides are equal. And 8. Well, what's 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8? Same thing as 8 times 4. What's our fact? 8 times 4 is 32, and we know it is meters because we're doing perimeter. Down here for number 6, what is the perimeter? 8 plus 3 plus 8 plus 3. All right, I want you to do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then while it's paused, and then come back to check your work. You should be looking on page 380 to find this on your own if you can't read it all. Okay, you should be back. 16 plus 3 plus 3 is 22 centimeters. 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 6 is 20 meters. Adding these up, we get to 20 inches. You add up all the sides, 20 inches. Number 9, you got 10 plus 5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 10 plus 8 is 40 feet. And down here, it's kind of hard to see. If you didn't get to do that one, you could pause it and then before you answer it. If not, let's just go right into it. Mr. Carlson has a garden with these sides. He wants to put fencing around it. How long of a fence does he need? Well, the length of fence he needs would be the perimeter. 10 plus 10 is 20. 8 plus 8 is 16, so that leads us to 36. Plus 6 is 42 meters. He needs 42 meters of fencing. Remember, you don't just put meters, you put fencing because the unit matters. Does he need 42 meters of cotton candy? 42 meters of rope? Nope, he needs 42 meters of fencing. So make sure to be specific in your answers. All right, I think you guys are great at this. Excellent. Our next lesson will be the chapter wrap-up. That's so exciting already. So great job. Make sure to do your workbook pages and turn them in.